I am the CEO of $1 Million Store. I lead with numbers, I plan ahead, I protect profit, and I make decisions that serve the business, not my stress. Welcome to a brand new 5-part series inspired by that episode. It's If I Had to Build $1 Million Store. This time, we're getting super tactical. Our mission, as you know, is bold and clear. We want to help 100 store owners scale past $1 million in sales, pay themselves over $11,000 every month, and work just 1 or 2 days on the sales floor, with the rest of the time spent in their zone of genius. It's about giving you the money and the time and the freedom you want to create this fabulous retail life for yourself. So each one of these episodes is going to break down one core system from our Richer Retailer method. These are the same 5 systems that we use with our clients in all of our workshops, in our resources, in our one-on-one calls, in our group coaching calls. This is what creates real, sustainable $1 million results. We know it. We've seen it happen. There's going to be no fluff and no theory here, just the moves that matter most. That's what I'm going to share with you today. Last, and certainly the most important, part 5, the things I do to be $1 million store owner. The core system here is titanium leadership. Why titanium? Because it's such strength and premium elevated status. And that is what you have also. Key principle number 1 here is the easy way to expand my business is to lead myself first. I have to decide who I am as a CEO before deciding what I do. I have to define the version of myself who leads $1 million store, how she thinks, how she decides, how she shows up. Because action without identity is just hustle, is just grinding, it's just running on a hamster wheel. But identity first, that creates clarity. Identity always comes before action, always. So let me give you some examples of this, because I know that this can sound really esoteric and airy-fairy and all out there, but let's think about it. How does $1 million CEO thinks? She will ask, what does the data say before reacting emotionally to something, to a bad day of sales or something like that? She separates today's bad day from long-term performance. It doesn't mean she's not bummed about how the sales went for the day, but she knows it's one day out of 365. She also thinks in terms of quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, and seasons, spring and fall. She doesn't just think about what happened on today's register tape, right? The identity shift that happens in her head is that I am the CEO. I am not only a firefighter. I know I spent so long just as a firefighter and never lifted my head up and out of that to lead myself. So that's how $1 million CEO thinks. How does she decide? So a couple of different things. For example, she decides her buys based on her open to buy and margin, not only on excitement, not only on gut. It's a marriage of the art and the science together that a CEO is looking for. She doesn't discount because she's nervous. She doesn't just, oh my gosh, it's been a slow couple days. Okay, putting something on social, on Facebook or Instagram, 20% off everything in the store. No. She discounts because it's strategic and it's planned. And she chooses profit over popularity. That's more important to her than being liked by everybody. Oh my goodness, as a people pleaser, that's been hard for me. But you have to choose that. That's how it has to work. And you choose clarity over chaos. So this identity shift here is that I make calm, pre-decided choices, not reactive ones. And not always, but that's what you're striving for. You have to stop making decisions from fear and start making them from data. You see, fear reacts, whereas data leads. Numbers lead. What I'd have to do to create this $1 million store is that I'd train my brain to pause before I just react, to pause, look at the numbers, and then choose the decision that's aligned with the store that I'm building, not the store I'm afraid of losing. Right? That I could see so clearly how that's how I reacted before. Key principle number 2, how to get more control and more freedom by protecting CEO time and energy. This is all about how she shows up. You see, she protects her CEO time, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when she has to say no to somebody about something, because she knows that CEO time, that big picture time, that what else is possible time is critical to the future of the store she is building. She runs meeting with an agenda and an outcome. She knows where she wants it to go, right? Not always perfectly, but she knows the general directions. And she delegates tasks that don't require her unique brilliance. That is such a powerful thing, too. You have to be able to delegate lower level decisions so that you can own higher level results, right? It's what I've said before about delegating your $20 an hour jobs so that you can do those $2,000 an hour jobs. And yet, like I said before, if that doesn't resonate with you, think of it from the standpoint of those jobs that you know create the sales in your store, create the experience, the things that only you can do, those things that are your own zone of genius, right? I work to hand off everything that doesn't require my brain so that I can think and plan and lead and create the future of my business. And that's what you should be doing too. Your identity shift here is that your job is to lead the business, not rescue it, right? You're leading it. So I'm protecting my CEO time like it's an appointment with profit. That is what it is. You've got to book weekly strategic time, that's CEO time, and treat it as if it is sacred, non-negotiable, and uninterrupted, because $1 million business is built during CEO time, not floor time. You know that. So how does identity change daily actions? Listen to this quote. You should think of your energy as if it's expensive, as if it's a luxury item. Not everyone can afford it. Not everyone has invested in you in order to be able to have the capital for you to care about this. What you spend your energy on, that's the day. That is my good friend Taylor Swift. And it's so true. Your energy is a luxury item. And so instead of asking, so what should I do today? You have to ask yourself, so what would the CEO of $1 million store do first? And what would make today great? Those questions change what goes on your calendar. They change what gets your attention and what gets a hard no. You have to curate your energy the same way that you curate your inventory. You should choose inputs, your social media, your mentorship, your community, your boundaries, your rest. Choose those inputs that fuel you and eliminate what drains you. Listen to this. $1 million decisions require $1 million nervous system. So a simple identity statement or affirmation. I use this type of thing all the time. I use affirmations a lot because they really help remind me of who it is. My coach calls it positive brainwashing. It reminds me who I am being, right? And so how about this for you? See if this fits. Feel free to swipe any of it. I am the CEO of $1 million store. I lead with numbers. I plan ahead. I protect profit, and I make decisions that serve the business, not my stress. And then let that identity drive your action. You see, when identity comes first like this, then you stop overworking and you start leading yourself and your team. You stop reacting and you start choosing. Identity always comes before action. That's how richer retailers are made. And when you've conquered those two principles, and when I say conquer, actually, that's not even true because it's a never-ending cycle, actually, of just growth. Like you just keep getting better at it as you keep building. But the key principle number 3 is the power of massive growth. You'll get to a point where you want to scale and where you want to scale big. And I'll tell you, there's 2 things you have to remember here. The first one is that growth feels uncomfortable. I work to I practice recognizing that discomfort is a sign of expansion, not a stop sign. That it's okay for me to feel uncomfortable. That happens when I'm growing, when I'm changing. There's a bunch of stuff going on right now, and that's exactly how I feel about it all. But it's a sign of expansion. It's not a stop sign. And so I'm getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. The second thing that's really important is to really adopt an experimentation mindset. You have to stop requiring certainty. It doesn't exist. You just have to start taking action. Try measuring and then adjusting and growing, because CEOs are not afraid to test. It's the only way that you can get this massive growth. Lean into this quote from Nelson Mandela. I never lose. I win or I learn. That's it. And it's true. It is absolutely true. Let me tell you that this whole system, The titanium leadership is almost always the biggest problem, this leadership and mindset, because it's nearly impossible to see it in yourself. I'd love to use the example of how if you're sitting in a pickle jar, you might know you're a pickle, but you don't know what kind of pickle you are. You don't. But a coach that has an outside perspective can read the label clearly and can tell you. And then plus, if that coach has already won the game that you're playing, if they've already had a successful store, they'll help you reach their goals faster. This titanium leadership core system and all these key principles come from our richer retailer method that we use with clients. And it guides everything that we do, from the workshops we offer to the resources that we make for clients and to our one-on-one coaching with clients and our group programs. If those are the kind of things that you're wondering about, if you want to know the easy way to expand your business, sign up now for that $1 million game plan call. Right now. The thing is that I know if you knew what to do, you would already do it. And what's beautiful about this call is that it's 45 minutes. There's no cost to you. It's personalized. It's just you. And we're going to outline what changes need to happen. We have questions. We've done this a lot. We're going to outline what changes need to happen with you and with your team so that you can spend fewer days on the floor and more days doing CEO time. More days doing what else is possible time, so you can work on your business instead of only in your business. We'll also chat with you about your cash flow. What's the biggest bottleneck? What's stopping you there? What leaks do we have to plug up? We'll take a look at your current inventory and your inventory buying strategy to see what's working and what's not working and what needs to change for you to scale past $1 million. We'll talk to you about your marketing and see how much new in-store traffic you can generate in the next 30, 60 days with a new traffic map. We're going to create a simple 3-step plan. After we've reviewed all this information, we're going to identify which 3 steps are going to get you the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time so that you can implement them and score the biggest wins in the next 90 days. So sign up for that call right now. I want you to know that you are astonishingly fabulous and you are loved. And I know you can do this. We've helped thousands of retailers do this, to become the best version of themselves, which never stops, right? We're always learning. You can do this. Thanks very much for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye.